It is Tuesday, September 20, 2016. Welcome to today's edition of the Government News Brief. In the news, delinquent youths issues to be addressed in Social Protection Ministry's 2017 budget, major boost coming for Guyana in ICT, and Guyana anticipates closer bilateral relations with Chile. Stay tuned for the details. Thank you for staying with us. I am Azim Khan. As the Ministry of Social Protection prepares its 2017 national budget, new initiatives are on the way to address youth's delinquent behavior. Details from Renetta LaFleur.
Minister of Social Protection Valda Lawrence says for 2017, her ministry is committed to working along with other ministries to ensure those youths struggling with challenges receive the necessary help.
Out of control youths who have anger problem and so on, and presently should be dealt with differently in terms of us being able to help them. We're looking at that. That is something that we need to collaborate with other ministers on, and we're working on that.
Minister Lawrence explains that emphasis will also be placed on collaborating with the Ministry of Public Security on the final draft of the juvenile bill for youths to have a place in society.
We want to ensure that we have the requisite place to be able to work with those youths, to place them back in society so that they can become productive citizens. Not only to work with them, but we also have to work with their families so that what took them there is dealt with, those issues, and they don't go back into the families and fall into the same system again.
The ministry will also be working to expand the services offered to better the lives of children.
We want to do a few things in terms of the children. Most of the new things that will come in the 27 that we're asking for in the 2017 budget would be to give a higher level of service, to be able to employ more persons, to do more visitations with home, more training with our staff, so that they will be able to be equipped to deal with case and handling case matters.
The Minister of Social Protection says she will work assiduously to see her vision for Guyana's youths and children becomes a reality. Renetta LaFleur for the Government News Brief.
The Guyana Office for Investment, Go Invest, has reported that applications for investments in the information and communications technology sector indicate major developments in Guyana. Details in this report.
Investments in the information and communication technology ITC sector now signals continuous development for Guyana's economy where jobs can be created. Chief Executive Officer of the Guyana Office for the Investment, Owen Verwey, says,
specifically in the information communication technologies and interest in this market for the call centers, or what they term business process outsourcing. We've had two major clients, and we've got others that are interested in this market.
Verwey, however, stated that due to the reconstruction of the application process to make it more efficient, there has been a delay in the completion process.
Those are the areas of which we've been seeing applications coming, and they've been processing pretty well so far. There was some sloth in how those are being processed, mainly because the processes were changing. We're getting to the bottom of that, and we'll be moving forward.
Minister of Public Telecommunication Catherine Hughes detailed the importance of having implementation of ITC systems and networks in Guyana.
Here we're talking about establishing an interconnected digital platform that can provide government services to citizens in an efficient, cost-effective, and time-saving manner. It's about establishing 21st century systems that can manage all government and private sector data in a safe and secure manner.
In 2010, Guyana secured a US $32 million loan to develop ICT infrastructure to facilitate e-government network. This project is expected to be expanded to provide internet access to schools and governmental agencies. With the implementation of ICT systems through investments, Guyana is expected to provide better technological services enhancement, communication, information access, and data storage soon. Dalan Sanko for the Government News Brief.
Guyana looks forward to working closely with Chile in a number of areas, including health and security. Here is that report.
Prime Minister Moses Nagamuntu, performing the duties of president, says Guyana anticipates working closely with Chile to further explore and pursue bilateral cooperation in areas such as health, science and technology, education, culture and security.
We value our excellent relations with Chile, and it is our desire to continue exploring ways in which our relations can be further strengthened in the years ahead.
The Prime Minister told the gathering at the last evening's reception to mark Chile's 206th independence anniversary that strong bilateral relations with countries such as Chile can only be mutually beneficial.
President Granger's acceptance of the kind invitation of President Bachelet to visit Chile later this year reiterates Guyana's interest in solidifying the existing friendly relations between our two countries. Guyana remains committed to concluding two important bilateral agreements during the President's visit to Chile. The Air Services Agreement, which will greatly enhance trade and the movement of people between our two countries, and the Visa Abolition Agreement, which will allow our respective citizens to travel between Guyana and Chile with greater ease.
Chilean Ambassador to Guyana, His Excellency Claudio Rachel Rojas, in his remarks says, since he presented his credentials to Guyana, there has been significant progress in the development of bilateral relations.
We perceive that Chile and Guyana have a commonality in a strong democratic institution and a commitment to develop our countries in a peaceful and stable environment. Which define those values are democracy, economic growth, social development, human rights, international law.
Ambassador Rojas is the first resident envoy from Chile since the country established formal diplomatic relations with Guyana in 1971. Chile recently opened an embassy in Georgetown, Guyana. The Prime Minister says Guyana intends to continue to work closely with all South American neighbors on the matters of mutual interest as the countries collectively strive to improve the lives and well-being of all the people of South America. For this government news brief, Namila Henry Rowe.
Residents of Efield, Sophia who were not included in the Ring Road project will now have better access to their homes. Find out how in this report.
This intervention by the Ministry of Public Infrastructure in Efield, or what is called Cummins Park, is as a result of the engineers and myself to a certain extent visiting this area and recognizing that the residents here had no access. They were using a dam that was slippery and dangerous to get to the public road. And with the immediate intervention of the minister, we decided and determined that the least we could do is put in a concrete 8-foot access.
That was Community Coordinator, Ministry of Public Infrastructure, Nielsen McKenzie. McKenzie explains that the ministry recognized the precarious nature for the dam, especially in the rainy weather. Grace Ben, a resident of Efield, speaks about the works.
I'm living in near 20 and odd years, so I am very, very grateful. I can jump, I can fly, I can do all what I want to do because I waited a long time for this moment, so I am grateful for it, and I'm really grateful. There's the most I can say for now.
Marilyn Winfield talks about the state of the road prior to the road works.
I don't have to walk in mud anymore. This mud was very, very annoying. Oh my goodness. I, for one, don't like the mud. Some days, I have to get long boots to crawl out there. I have a shop out there. I used to have to pull these things straight out there in the mud when the rain falls. Some days you don't hear about the mud. So I'm grateful for the road.
McKenzie says that the initiative is funded on the savings from the Ministry of Public Infrastructure's Ring Road project budget. Renetta LaFleur for the Government News Brief.
The expansion of the Chedi Jagan International Airport will see many more commercial flights, which will boost the aviation sector. Find out how in this report.
The local regulatory agency for air traffic, the GCAA, is preparing for an increase in business that will likely follow the expansion of the Chedi Jagan International Airport. Oxera Consultancy Company from the UK is conducting a 3-day training program for operatives in specific areas in the aviation industry. Oxero works with companies and governments around the world on economic issues connected with competition, finance, regulation, and litigation. Director General of the GCAA, Egbert Field, says the training comes at an opportune time and covers important areas for development.
You'll be learning how to calculate the cost of capital for infrastructure, how to set efficient targets. You'll be covering competition and economic regulations, forms of control, cost of capital.
The GCAA director encouraged participating regulators, airport operators, and air navigation service providers to pay attention to the content of the program.
You from the various industries or from the various entities will be very important to this movement forward in our economy.
Economic regulation and economics of air transport are part of the GCAA's initiatives to boost operations within the aviation sector. For the Government News Brief, Beverly Alert.
We have come to the end of today's edition of the Government News Brief. The details of these and other stories can be found on GINA's website. GINA has an active Facebook page and we encourage you to visit and like us. Join the GINA mailing list by subscribing to our website and YouTube channel. Do join us again tomorrow for another edition of the Government News Brief. Thank you for watching.